with DC technology. We will start with that today already. The second topic is about electrostatics. It's mainly about charges and forces between charges, not so much about moving charges, really, just about charges and the effects of charge. Magnetism and induction. So we go into electromagnetism, basically. And once we've done that, we can understand AC technology. In the chapter about AC technology, alternating current technology, as opposed to DC technology, direct current technology, you will find out that many things that you have learned in chapter 1 can be reused for AC technology. But there's a little bit more that you need. One of the same things is complex numbers. Have you heard of them? Who knows about complex numbers already? Oh, quite a few. That's more than we usually have in our purely German courses here. Cool. Very good. Do you think that, or do you feel that complex numbers are difficult, that they make your life more difficult? Or what is your feeling about them? Let's say easier. Makes it easier. Thank you for this answer. If we had no complex numbers at our hands, it would be extremely hard to analyze AC circuits and systems. It would be hard to analyze oscillating systems in general, not only the electrical oscillating systems. Complex numbers really make this simple, fairly simple. And it's not too bad to just get used to the calculation rules for complex numbers. It's just a little bit of practice. Okay, but there's some time still, so you can relax and we will not come to complex numbers right away. Before we start using them, Mr. Almendinger will explain them to you in mathematics. Good. Passive filters are circuits, simple circuits, but important circuits that use AC technology. So that's the reason why we talk about them right after the AC technology. Also the resonant circuits, oscillations, oscillating circuits. So this is then the end of the first semester, the end of the fundamentals of electrical engineering. In the second semester, we will talk about electronic devices and electronic circuits. And you will need all these basics. Maybe not so much the magnetism and induction stuff, but everything else. Okay, so in winter, we will have 4 hours of lecture per week. On Fridays, obviously, and on Tuesdays, right? So it's 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Friday. At the end of the semester, you will write an exam, 60 minutes. And this accounts for 50% of your module grade. Maybe you know already that these 2 semesters at the end go into 1 module grade. 50% is the first semester, 50% is the second semester. You have to pass both exams. You will get separate marks for them, but only if both marks are present in your mark sheet, basically. Then you will get a total mark on this module. 7 credit points. You will get 7 credit points for the module, but you only get them, or you will only see them in your grade sheet when both parts are passed. That's essential. In the second semester, in the summer, actually, the analog electronics will be only 3 hours, not 4. There is a lab class, but this is a separate module. It's separate from the lectures. And it's a special lab class that combines 3 disciplines: physics, electronics, and chemistry. Physics has the highest weight, 50% of the entire module, and the other two parts, electronics and chemistry, will account for 25% each. But it's a different overall market, separate from the lecture courses here. Okay, finally, the tutorial. There will be a tutorial. Tutorial means it's nothing that you have to pass or that you have to visit even. It's completely voluntary if you do that or not. I found a student from a higher semester, a very good student, who wants to work on exercises together with you. We have picked a time slot on Fridays right after this lecture, not starting today. We need 2 or 3 weeks before we start that. I don't know, is there anything which causes conflicts with this tutorial on Fridays? Any other course which is not in the timetable officially? Nothing? Pardon? A language course. Okay. Who's visiting that course? Okay. There was an alternative. Do I remember that? Tuesday morning, I believe, right before the lecture, but that would start at 8:15. Oh, yeah. What do you think about that? 8:15 is too early, eh? Okay, I will talk to the other students. We will see what we do. The preferred solution was Friday. I have to discuss that. It also depends on his timetable because it was not finalized yet. Okay, I will send a message. Okay, again, about the exam at the end of the first semester. 60 minutes is the duration. You are allowed to use a calculator, and we will provide a formula. So for the exam, you don't bring your own printout. We will supply or provide a printout to you. But it's important that you work with this formula, use formula throughout the semester so that during the exam, you already know how it looks like and where to find things. Good, okay. Extremely important is the online registration. That's why it's printed in red here on the slide. You have to register online for all your exams. And I'm sure you have heard about that already on Tuesday in the informational session. If you miss that online registration period, it might happen that you cannot write, that you're not allowed to write the exam. Let's make an example. If you realize on November 19th that you missed this period, do something immediately. Write to the, who is it? Write to Professor Heilmann. He's responsible for the exams, the exam plans in your study program, and tell them that you missed it. If you do it within 1 week after this period, you may be lucky and still get in. If you're even later, he would probably refuse to let you in. Okay, so don't miss that. Write that into your calendar. Good. Whenever you have any problems, you want to talk to me, you want to discuss something, you need more explanation or something, the first thing you should do is write me an email. And depending on your question or your problem, we can either arrange a Zoom session or we meet in my office. But from experience, I know that all the communication will flow through this Moodle course. There's a so-called forum at the right at the top when you go into the course, and I will send messages that way. And you will get these messages on your HM email account. For that reason, it is very important that you make sure that your HM email account is working. And also you should regularly read those emails. Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I don't find your name in the Moodle.
This is not possible. Try again. You should.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Very searching.
Okay. Now, during the first few weeks, there may still be people who don't have access to HM email because they haven't really made it to here. Those people who are online. So during these first maybe 4 weeks, I may also send the messages in parallel throughout the department's course system, basically, where you can register using your private email address. But once we are all in class here, once I also stop the online lecture, I will only use the Moodle course. I will wait for a minute until everybody has written down this key. Okay. Now, just in case you want to look into some book in order to get some more explanations or different kinds of explanations, I can recommend 2 in English language. There are also many more in German language in our library. But I found 2 English language books that cover all the topics that we discuss here. The first one is the one